It really pains me because I want to do multiple videos at a time. But it's okay. I'm resting my voice and still talking super loud. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another video, The Conspiracy Theory Iceberg by Wendigoon. I like his name, Wendigoon, pretty nice. So, never heard of Wendigoon. Though I'm losing my intro, my bad. Shout out to Wendigoon if you want me to take down my video. I do not mind. This is part 1 to the Conspiracy Theory Iceberg, so I wonder what this is about, but let's see. You guys want my thoughts on it? So let's do it. Let's mute the notifications. Water. Still thinking of a name. I kind of like the Lost Ones, but how do you guys feel about the Founders, right? I'm Lunar was lost. So how about you guys who found me, the Founders? That could be cool also. The Founders. I like that because I don't want you guys to be the lost ones. I want you to be the Founders, the Founders. Whatever it may be on your journey that you found. The Founders. I like that. But let me know what you think. Okay. Let's do this. 16 minutes. I'm going to see if I can double this. I wonder what will be entailed going into this. As always, leave recommendations down below. DM me recommendations. Email me recommendations. Whatever you want to do. And if you enjoy, subscribe. Share it with your friends. Because, hey, you never know what you're going to get out of me. I never know what I'm going to get out of me. Let's go.
Boy, am I excited. So there's been this image floating around for a while called the Iceberg Conspiracy List. And for those of you that don't know, it is a picture of an iceberg, and on it there are several separated tiers that gauge conspiracy theories from how known they are to how unknown they are. I'll actually throw it up now so you can look at it. As you can see, it is huge. There are several variations, but I think this one is the best, not only because it is the most well structured with different tiers and specifics for what each tier means, but it also is the most comprehensive. As I tried to find research for this, I'm telling you there was none. Like, no one had done a full breakdown of it. There's a couple people who did 1 or 2, and then after researching it, people were saying that everyone who did full reviews of it was having their videos taken down. So, we'll see what happens.
Ooh, let's go. Oh, I like this. Me, I'll tell you right before I begin. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Here's the thing, right? I believe that giving in the conspiracy, right? I think this is just for everyone. If, want a little insight, is that you should say that you are almost into different conspiracies, looking at them and breaking them down for what they are. And I do definitely believe that some of them are true. But at the end of the day, never assign yourself with the title of being a conspiracy theorist. One, because it's a term coined by the government. They actually put a lot of words like woke and shit like that. They install those into society for them to breed into more things. I want to get deeper, but I want to continue the video. So maybe I'll wrap up to that point. Like I said, I did it. I say this in videos sometimes where I'm going to wrap up on a point at the end. But usually I'm so off that trail. But maybe this will come back at the end. But just know that you can look, if you get, I was going to say, if you do the etymology. Ah, man, this throat thing. Okay, I can't say too much. I'm going to save it for what he says for me to comment on. But just know that. So if you're into conspiracies, just say you're into them, but you're not a conspiracy theorist. Because most of it is can I spell it out in the video? You know PORN? I know you know PORN, right? Well, conspiracy theorists and what it's supposed to be is literally fear, PORN. But there you go. Okay.
So I decided who better to do it than me. Technically, a lot of people. That doesn't matter. What I'm going to do is, because this thing is huge, every one of these phrases can lead you down an entire rabbit hole of research and investigation.
I bet.
Some of them are well-known stuff like UFOs or Bigfoot, but as you get into some of these later ones, it gets creepy. Like, you drag over some pretty scary ones like human flesh markets or...
Ooh, oh yeah. I got a story for y'all at the end that I actually will remember to tell. I don't know if this guy may be watching my videos, but it's cool. Mr. Bear, if you found my channel, bro, shout out to you. I'm going to tell you guys about Mr. Bear. down the line. Also be careful with going, if you are someone that goes and looks up conspiracies. I don't know how many of you really know about like energy and frequency and vibration on the channel, but if you do, be very careful about going down these rabbit holes, because they can bring you to a very low place, because what you pay attention to grows. So you can really end up influencing your mood if you get too deep in these. So just a disclaimer for all the people I care about on my channel and who may watch his videos. Be very careful with going down certain rabbit holes.
Children trapped in floors and things such as.
Oh,
but once you get really far into it, like tier 9, tier 10 stuff,
I know about that one.
It's like God's ego death, or the universe was created as a test. And the things
whoa, that's very funny. Whoa, okay.
These whole networks and stories behind them just aren't commonly known.
I like
now,
that
one.
one.
Right now, none of what I'm talking about means I believe it per se. I'm simply conveying what the conspiracy is because I think it's cool. And some of these are awesome.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do here is I am going to do a quick run through of the tier 1, and then the next video will be tier 2, and etc. Like I said, the further you go down, the more crazy that gets. So this one's pretty much to whet your appetite. Although there is a lot of cool stuff with this tier that I learned in research for this video. Some of the ones we'll get into in later videos are absolutely crazy, like the City of Broken Candles or the Valley of Headless Men, things such as. But like I said, I'm going to go through the entire chart, so we're starting with tier 1. So the title and description for tier 1 is...
You guys sent me the tame one first. Okay, I'll cover them all if you want to. Like, I'll cover them all. I'll watch him and give my comments on them if you guys want me to cover them all. And yeah,
it's crazy head.
Again, shout out to Wendigoon if you want to take down any of my videos. Just because if anyone wants me to continue, I will go through all these. These seem cool. Because I gotta shit. You guys gotta send me the later tiers. Like, I gotta get to the next part.
The description reads: mainstream conspiracies and unsolved mysteries. Most of this stuff is well documented and known to a good portion of the Western citizens. A lot of common theories may be grouped in broader terms or may not even appear on the chart at all considering their meaning and popularity. Also, quick disclaimer on this first tier, this doesn't really apply to the others, but some of these are so well known or you've heard so many times I'm not even going to cover them, like fake news or Bigfoot or UFOs. Like, we all get it. I don't need to go into detail about it.
Yeah.
But without further ado, let's get into this, and thank you for watching. First up, we have Big Pharma. Most of you know about this. It's pretty much just a huge encompassing theory that pharmaceutical companies suppress vaccines and cures that are made in order to make money off of treatment. Next, we have Atlantis.
What do you guys want me to say about this one? Oh my gosh, you want to hear my comments? Bro. Dude, I'm going to end up like what is it called? Incriminating myself in this video. Like when you got a trial or something and you don't want to say too much before the trial. Oh, I forgot all that lawyer stuff. You guys, Big Pharma, bro. You know what? If I'm going to do this, y'all let me know what you think down below. I have a video on Atlantis, by the way, or my own video, if you want to go through my channel and find it. But as for Big Pharma, man, dude, I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to like be that open, be that real, but I don't want to like pause the video and say a whole lot of nothing either. You know what I'll say about that Big Pharma one? It's just like there's a lot of evidence and research to suggest certain things. I don't know if I want to start saying things in videos. I don't know. I don't want to say a whole lot of nothing. You know what? I'll just tell by my reactions. Pick up what you want from what I say, because everyone will think something different of how I react. So you just take it for what you want.
Original records of Atlantis date back to Greek times, I believe, between Sparta and Athens.
It's older.
Continent located somewhere in the Atlantic Ocean. And since they couldn't have got to North America, that would require there to be something in between that has since disappeared or sank. Next up, we have one of the...
Now, Atlantis is years older than by what they tell, and you can find evidence of this. Also, there's a road under the ocean, but I don't know if I don't know if my video will get flagged for talking about this because, like he said, certain people's videos were taken down when they got deeper into them, and I'm sure you could tell why, or you'll know why. That's just common sense because, like, obviously some of these conspiracies get, pretty close to something that really may go on. But there are roads and underground, or not underground, there are drowned. How do I say it? There are sunken airports that you could find that in real life, if you go and visit these places, they will come out on, like, what is it, Coastal Guard, or like the military will literally come and stop your boat from going to these certain areas. But you can look them up. That is just common knowledge. So hopefully the FBI agent watching this video, yeah, we know, it's out there. There are underground roads and stuff that they don't let you swim and dive to for certain reasons. I don't know what you would really find there, but
first ones that I didn't know about until getting into
Nostradamus.
Nostradamus was an old philosopher who came up with several of the constellations and discovering the night sky, and it is believed that several of his predictions came true later.
No, makes sense.
World War II and the Great London Fire. However, from doing my own research, this is kind of BS because, like, for example, the London Fire, he said that there would be bad things happening in London.
Oh, general?
A bad thing happened in London.
Oh, so it was like the generalization?
The Mandela effect. Most of you are probably familiar with this, but it essentially says that there are parallel universes that cross over with each other in minor ways that we're not aware of. For example, those who remember the Bernstein Bears.
Bernstein Bears, yeah.
May be surprised to know that it's actually the Bernstein Bears, and that several discrepancies like that exist. Like the Monopoly Man has no monocle, and yada yada yada. This is a cool one. It's very deep. It goes on for itself. So if you're interested,
they even made a movie out of it. But the Mandela effect. I cannot remember you. Yeah, that's a bar from somebody, but
to check it out.
It's very real. Very real thing.
Which disappeared somewhere over the Indian Ocean. The conspiracy states that there is a U.S. military base there, and more than likely the plane was either hijacked and flying towards it or flew too close to it, to which the U.S. military shot it down and covered up all evidence of it. Although, practically, I feel that there's a lot of moving parts in that couldn't be kept secret for so long. The GMO conspiracy.
Okay, we're getting here.
Regards GMOs that are in several foods, from fast food and markets. And
about the MH plane, I don't really have anything to comment on that one.
Things such as, which are used in this conspiracy to cause food shortages and hunger in people. So essentially, the whole get the customer addicted idea. Or
yeah. Now, what I have to say about GMO is there's a lot of people in songs now saying it, and there was one guy named Terrell Hines who said in his song that he thinks they feed us these poisons and stuff to influence like bodily functions and emotions so that we're always angry at each other, and it's in the food, right? Now, there's much evidence, and it's funny because I'm getting told this from people I know that like doctors say this too, like people who go to school to be doctors, is that you program your body. And like I said, I referenced the book Holographic Universe, who, funny enough, on one of my videos about B.O.B. songs, someone said the Holographic Universe is just a book of full theories and trash and just completely discredited the book. Now, I would never do that to someone else's work. You could dislike something and not get anything from it, but just to discredit someone's work is just crazy, because the person who wrote the book is rumored to be murdered, was rumored to be killed. And not only that, has all the sources of where he got his information from, which references a lot of books like Dark Psychology and a bunch of other really, really highly held books. But in that book, it tells you that basically your thoughts, feelings, and all that, meditation, yada yada, the whole shebang, you program your body. So I don't know how much GMO has effect like on your body, but I definitely know that your thoughts and feelings towards the food that you eat play a role. And there's also been evidence that I wish he kind of mentioned right there, where he probably has found it, where that they've been growing food in labs. There's videos on YouTube of people. Dude, I don't know what I will say and get my video taken down. Maybe I'll just like nod and just keep going forward. But there's videos on YouTube. I don't know if they get taken down. I'm not going to show them because I don't want my video to get taken down, of people showing fruits with no seeds. Like they buy a fruit from the store or like show what real banana seeds look like, and they'll be like, yo, like what is. So there's just stuff. I don't know. There's just stuff, weird stuff out there.
It's rather vague. From what I figured out, it's referring to the orbs that are seen in photographs when taken in the sunlight.
Oh.
So, dust, particles, things such as. But the conspiracy says that it is a paranormal or supernatural occurrence.
Yeah, I heard about these.
The New World Order, for those that aren't familiar, in the book of Revelations in the Bible, it details that there will be a one world government or one world order in the end times. And this will be in much more specific detail as we get later on into the Iceberg. But at this tier, it's basically just referring to the idea that all governments want to come together to make one government.
Yes, okay. Heard about that one. I heard that that's going on now. Another thing you guys heard about, the, I don't want to say the towers, but you guys heard about all that. And what I will say to that one is, yeah, there's some rumors that that's going on now. With what's going on in the world, I don't want to say too much right now. But what I will say is I feel like the funny thing with the Bible is that it's all written down. Oh, I can't get deep. Dude, I'm getting goosebumps like I shouldn't be saying things. I'm just not going to say too much, but whatever you believe at the end of the day, you know what? Before we continue with the video, one thing I want to say to anything that I may say and believe is ultimately, if these conspiracies weren't real or were real or weren't real, something's going on, something's not going on. There's one world government, there's not one world government. At the end of the day, I think the whole goal of this, funny enough, the Egyptians thought this too, is to master yourself. Because ultimately, if this stuff is going on behind the scenes, unless the people realized the power was in them and rose up, I'm not suggesting anything, there's nothing we're going to be able to do about any of it. And it kind of makes you realize how sick this entire game is. And you just kind of got to be a beast and radiate light. Like, that's just what it is. It's really sad. That's what conspiracy made me realize, which is why I don't really dive into it anymore. Because I'm like, if, Pizzagate and all these things are going on behind the scenes, who am I? Am I about to cape up like Batman and stop it? Just got to hopefully, I don't want to say hopefully because hope is not a thing either. Just got to have confidence that there are people in this system trying to break down these things, and how far they could get until, they get killed or they get put off. Like, listen, that's how I truly feel. It's just live your life. Let's have a good time. It really hurts me to think about these things. I used to think about this stuff a lot. That's why I had to stop. It just brings you down a hole of thoughts.
Advertising later into the Iceberg, but there's good reason for it. Some of the ones down there are insane, and get into specifics of how one world government can be achieved, things such as. So stay tuned.
Oh,
Next
wow.
is the Nibiru cataclysm.
Nibiru
is a planet, or also known as Planet X.
Planet
that
X.
was predicted by a scientist in 2003 to collide with the Earth in 2003. So pretty well debunked. But the term is still used to apply to an idea that a meteor or any other body could hit the planet one day and kill us all. Now we get into the fun stuff. The Bilderberg meetings is an event that really does happen every year, in which Western economists meet with European governments to discuss capitalism in the West from all the evidence I can find. Obviously, there are several theories that come from this, especially since the fact the press isn't allowed and there are no notes to be taken. So a group of world elites talking behind closed doors in high places.
Nice.
Humanism is more of a philosophy than a theory, really. It applies a lot to anarchist rings, oddly enough, and it's essentially the idea that humans can be further expounded on or bettered through augmentation of computer parts and like cybernetics and things such.
Deus Ex Machina.
BEK or Black Eyed.
Oh, Black Eyed Kids. Oh my gosh, and not to don't open your door when you see. Oh my gosh, what, I know so many of these, bro. I am a troubled person. No, but in truth, story at the end.
Is a recurring phenomenon in the supernatural community of small children appearing with blacked out eyes. You can follow this rabbit trail pretty far, but pretty much surface level, it's just creepy kids who appear whenever tragedy happens. So people talk
Oh.
about ghosts or extraterrestrials or what have you. Next is
Oh.
Antarctica, which there is a slew of Antarctic
Yeah.
conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Everything ranging from giant holes appearing in the middle of Antarctica to government bases being down there to that's where the world elites hide. I mean, you could spin forever on this. So moving on. Next is the basement tapes. For those of you that don't know, before the Columbine shooting, the two shooters made a series of videos detailing what they were going to do, how they were going to do it, and generally talking about how they hate people in their school and there needs to be a cleansing and things such as. These tapes still exist, although the conspiracy resides in no one knows who has them. However, randomly portions of them will appear online, leaving people to believe that they're out there maybe exchanging hands, but no one knows where they're at. Next up, we've got Operation Northwoods. This is a rather well-documented case, but essentially during the Cuban Missile Crisis, there was reports put out by the CIA that said to warrant a war with Cuba, they should commit acts of terrorism against U.S. citizens and then blame them on Cuba to justify a war. Which, yep. Next up is PSYOP.
I see how you was which. Yep. I see. That's exactly. I got the same vibe from my boy in the beginning. You just don't want to comment.
This is also well documented. Just the fact that
PSYOPs.
specifically the U.S. government, as well as other governments, is known to employ psychological warfare, from noises to conditions,
LRAD.
supply rations, and things like that. The Bella incident is an event occurred off the coast of South Africa in 1979. What happened is a system of satellites known as the Vela satellites captured two back-to-back giant flashes for seemingly no reason. However, after reading into it, it was probably just an unsanctioned nuclear test because this satellite system had caught them before and they looked similar, and the whole conspiracy is just because there was no scripted test that day. So yeah, probably just nuke testing. Next we have giants. While this one seems vague, later tiers get into it more specifically, but essentially in the Old Testament of the Bible there are several references to giants happening, and obviously today there doesn't seem to be any. However, this conspiracy, as we get into it later, applies to the deep state and cover-ups and things such as, so I don't want to spoil any of it yet, but this is a good mention that asterisk mark, so to speak. We'll get to it later. Padma McCord.
About giants. About giants. I want to give a shout out to a guy who he never shout out to me. We've had a couple of interactions here and there, but I really respect his work. Is John Levy. I'll bring up the YouTube channel. I've brought it up before, but since we're talking about giants and other races, I want you guys, if you're actually interested, I was going to watch one of his videos on my channel. This guy right here, John Levy. Check this guy out. Now, I don't watch his videos too much because he gets to the core, rooted things. Ooh, sometimes it's crazy. But this is giving me that vibe, especially when he talked about giants.
Is an interesting one. There's a lady online by the name of Padma McCord who owns, for some reason, thousands, if not millions, of URLs, which, looking at this on the outside, you'd say, oh, it's some company using a name or whatever, until you go to the URLs and it's just pictures of her face photoshopped onto other women for some reason. And every one of these websites has millions of backlinks to other websites, which someone who knows tech may know more about it than I do. I have no clue why. It's just creepy. The Elisa Lam incident. For those who haven't trolled around on creepy internet videos like I have, you may not know who Elisa Lam is, but it is a story that is worth your time. She was...
I know this video, but I don't know her.
A college student, I believe, at the Hotel Cecile in California, who for some reason, it's seen in security camera videos, runs onto an elevator, freaking out, keeps jerking around, thinking something's following her, runs to a room, and is never seen alive again until she's found 3 days later in the water tank of the hotel. There was never any evidence of a killing, no one was ever found in connection to it, and it is one of the wildest videos ever to watch, knowing that she was never followed and there was never evidence of anyone following her.
Oh, I just got
really
chills.
Strange. I'll leave you to look into this one yourself. But it was one of the first videos I remember that kind of got me into this whole, I don't know, like creepy, dark web, whatever. The Terra Calico picture. This one's just sad. There was a woman named Terra Calico who's suspected to be abducted in the early 90s, and then a few months later, a picture of her bound and gagged turned up in a parking lot around the area she was kidnapped. It leaves a lot of questions of why the picture was left there and what any of it means, especially since it was just in some random convenience store parking lot. But like I said, this is just sad. The Mad Gasser of Mattoon.
Before we get to the Mad Gasser, much respect to this dude. I'm already messing with his channel. Thanks for sending this to me, guys. And just, I don't know even what else to say. Damn. Just, yeah, thank you. Fuck. This is awesome to watch.
I have never heard of this one before until researching it. But apparently in the 40s, there was a series of gas attacks that occurred in Mattoon, Illinois, which investigators mostly chalked up to mass hysteria and people who left their fuel lines running. But everyone who it happened to, which was dozens of cases, claimed that it was an individual that ran up to them and attacked them with invisible gas.
Well, bruh, the Scarecrow? The Scarecrow? Like, is this inspiration for the Scarecrow?
So, yeah, have fun with that one. COINTELPRO. Like Operation Northwoods, this one's pretty well documented and known at this point, but essentially, before the Patriot Act became a thing, it's evidence of the FBI illegally spying on U.S. citizens to gain information, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, government bad. The Mao Action. This one pretty much just says that the old communist emperor of China, Mao Zedong, was in secret connections with Yale University in ways to indoctrinate students and receive funding from them and vice versa. From what I've seen, it's mostly just conspiracy jargon, but you can check it out for yourself. The I-70 killer. This is referring in the spring of 1992, there was a series of 6 murders of gas station clerks on the I-70 interstate, and no one was ever caught, but some sketches were given. From everything I've found, this is simply just a serial killer string that went unsolved. The Majestic 12 is a reference to a board member of 12 people put together by Harry Truman in 1947 to recover all alien spacecraft information and things such as. This relates back to Area 51, although it's a bit more specific in saying that there's a committee, so to speak, that looks over anything that happens with extraterrestrials.
Okay.
Also, Area 51 was also in this first tier list, but like I said, it's one of those that's so obvious there's no reason for me to talk about it. Red Squads are, a pretty well-documented government thing, that during the whole Red Scare of the 50s and 60s, there were groups of U.S. police officers whose sole purpose was to hunt down communist sympathizers and arrest them for whatever. The Secret was really hard to find information on because it's such a vague title, but given its italics, I think it's referring to a book that essentially is a self-help book that says,
oh, the book The Secret? Stop playing. Wow. They came for the book The Secret? If y'all don't know about that book.
Thinking certain thoughts deliberately will change the course of your life. So, not sure why it's on there, but, you know, we're still in tier 1, so whatever. Acupuncture is an interesting...
I would know why it's in there. Wendigoon, get at me. Everybody tell Wendigoon. If he wants to know why The Secret is on there, get at me. I feel like he knows.
One.
Acupuncture.
This relates back to the big pharma I mentioned at the beginning. It says that acupuncture heals several diseases, but it is purposely put down and not given attention in mainstream media.
Bro, what the heck? Literally, I'm sorry, I'm going to reference him again because his music is crazy with lining up with just the big pharma and stuff being on this list. B.O.B. just said in one of his new songs from his new album, he literally said, Western medicine versus Eastern practices, the real secret society is this is just crazy. This is crazy for me right now. I'm going down a hole right. You guys see me, I'm going through phases right now that I don't like that this video is bringing out. This is what happens. Because, something just shakes you to your core because you obviously can feel the truth behind some of this stuff. Like, it's just like that discernment, that discernment that you have. It's like you can look at some of these and be like, okay, what the heck, you know? But then even if you feel that way on some of them kind of do still make you look like, what's going on? But then there are the ones where you're like, okay, because acupuncture is one of those things where you could be like, okay, see this a lot. I see a lot of Dr. Sebi, for example. I don't think my video will get taken down for saying this. Dr. Sebi, if you see like his medical practices, right? Aside from what he did, because I heard from my cousin who's also, you know, very into healing with, you know, like shamanistic type of healing and all that stuff, that, you know, Dr. Sebi was also really weird with women, or had this really weird thing, but, you know, he also always preached that he was just trying to help. This dude cured, he cured, I think he cured HIV, AIDS, and cancer. And when he cured his first patient, his mom said, they're going to find you and kill you. Like, they're going to kill you if you don't stop. And this dude went to court and brought into court, you can find this, he brought the people he cured into court in a courtroom thing to try to, like, to win. And I don't know if he won, I can't remember, but some of you can find that. But you have to really dig, because of course this stuff tries to get covered and blah, 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 and there's so many layers. But take my word for it. If you don't trust me, that's cool too. I just know this to be literal facts, and you can find interviews with him where he's like, yo, he's been curing people of lupus and all this stuff for ages. But again, that's a territory where it really just depends on what you believe. I truly don't know. I just go back to the one thing I said, and it's like, if all this messed up stuff's going on, hey, just live your life with what you know. You know, what else do we got? We're here doing this.
And doctors, because it would put them out of business.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting rabbit hole to go down. The Max Headroom incident
is weird.
Happened in 1987 in Chicago, when two broadcast stations suddenly cut out and cut to a video of a man.
Oh, my bad. And I didn't miss what he said there about the whole, like, they don't want to, like, really go in too deep with it because, you know, it could put doctors out of business or stuff like that. Like, I would understand that's the thing, because that's exactly what the bar meant too, like Western practice medicine. Like, who, I get it. It's like all the same thing. So yeah, don't worry, I'm not missing what he says.
Wearing a Max Headroom costume.
But yeah,
this character from British television, who began talking random jargon and swearing, and then had someone spank him on camera, and then the broadcast cut out. What's interesting is that there's never been anyone named a suspect, there's never any evidence found, and it's pretty much become a whole Reddit thread trying to figure out who this person was, what happened, and name them. So it's an interesting mystery to go on, but from everything I could find, it was just two guys messing with the media. And then for the last
that was
one
weird.
covered in Tier 1, we have the UN agenda. This is pretty much just relates to Agenda 21 and other conspiracies, which I'll talk about more in later tiers, but the idea that the UN is trying to build itself towards a new world order.
Okay, that's what I was about to say, because when he said Agenda 21, I was like, wait, isn't this just the new world order thing too? It was.
That is the end of Tier 1. Like I said, there are 10 tiers, and they just get crazier from here. Everything I just covered is stuff that you can simply search conspiracy theory and find information on, but the ones I'm going to get into after this video are, you've got to do some digging, you have to know what boards to look at to figure out, people won't talk about it, and other really interesting things, and it gets pretty spooky. So stay tuned, let me know if you like this video.
Let's do it.
As always, I want to thank my patrons over on Patreon. Thank you to all of my patrons, but a special thank you to the top tiers. Thank you Kayla, thank you Pat, thank you Eddie, thank you Benjamin, thank you Tim, thank you Publius, and thank you Saucy. Link will be in the description as always. Thank you all for watching. Like I said before, this was kind of a trailer. I want to put this out quick so I can get you interested, because it just shoots downhill from here. And I am excited.
Yo, this guy's dope.
And I will see you in part 2.
Bro. I love when YouTubers like this, or like any YouTubers like that are of a certain stature, end up seeing my videos, because I think about these ideas. Also, I've gotten, like, you know, Guys, my throat. What I was basically going to say is, would it not be so cool to, like I would like, I'll leave it alone. It would just be so cool to collab with someone like this. I feel like this is like someone who really, like, even Count Dankula, like, these, like, we all need to get together for a video. That'd be so cool. Nah, we'd all end up going to jail. Nah, I'm just joking. Yo, you guys, thank you for sending me this. I might just do part 2, like, on my own, just will. But let me know if you want to see part 2. But as we get deeper down this rabbit hole, I just want to say this. Before we get deeper down this rabbit hole, I don't know how much I'm going to react and give my comments on things. If his part 2s are still up, then that means they were okay. For YouTube standards. Never know if they could go down for any random reason, because you guys know how YouTube is. But I will definitely say, we'll see. I love this. I'm not ending the video yet. I do remember what I said in the beginning. And I said I would give you a story about Mr. Bear. Basically the short summary of the story is that he was the first person to introduce me to the dark web. And, oh man, he showed me like he showed me so much how to protect yourself, blah, blah, when surfing it, da-da-da. He was a cool little Irish dude. I don't know how he's doing in life. I hope he's doing great. To be honest, like, he was really a cool dude. Talked to him a lot. And, yeah, man, we just had fun. Nonetheless, when we went on the dark web, man, the things that I could tell you guys that I've been open to and like, you know how, like, someone talks about, like, an upbringing where, you know, like, well, I've seen some stuff in real life, but, like, I mean, like, see people who really seen some stuff. I feel like that adds to it. Like, knowing what the dark web is and knowing, like, what's on there is just insane. And man, there's so much more I want to, like, say, but, like, it's a place, bro. And I, like, just don't want anything to ever do with it. Any, like, hackers or hitmen or things that may come after you. Like, yo, I'm on good terms with everybody at this point. I hope no, it's not. I hope, I know that I should not be trailed by anything, any energy from that. I do not. Trust me, you guys. Like, if you've never seen things on the dark web, like, there are recipes on there. Think about cooking in a kitchen. Like, there's worse than what I'm about to say. I don't really want to say what I'm about to say, but listen, there are recipes on there for how to cook each certain body part, like the time it takes, the detail, the, like, yo, it's a place. And there's worse than that. Other than that, yeah, that was the story between Mr. Bear. He basically took me through all that. Like, we were, like, he would share a screen back in the early days when it was, like, was it Skype or something? But he would share his screen and show just surfing it, and it was insane. And he would talk about the certain things that you got to look out for, blah, blah, links, just a bunch of stuff. And then, as for that other thing that I was talking about where I was going to get a bit esoteric, I really can't remember what I was going to say about that for now. But honestly, yeah. Not that important. Maybe it'll come back in part 2, but yeah. So that's where my journey began with the whole dark web and all these things. It's insane. Next one is 36 minutes. All right. Much love and moonlight. I will leave you guys to enjoy what I hopefully said. I hope I didn't appear. I know this video was recommended to me, so I'm assuming y'all already did some pretty weird stuff too. So what I said shouldn't have been too weird. But let me know what you think. Listen, I never come at anyone for what they believe. Believe what you're going to believe. And yeah, that's my message to you for the end. Just believe what you want to believe. Live your life. And if this stuff is really going on behind the scenes, what the hell are we going to do? We all going to become the Ginyu Force? We going to become the Power Rangers? Like, we just got to do what we can to spread as much light. All right. Much love and light. Much love and moonlight. Goodbye, guys. I'm going to go rest. Peace.